there's this place called the Land of Sneeze. Right? And in the Land of Sneeze, they had the sneezing epidemic. They couldn't stop sneezing. Right? And so these guys got together and they said, hey, we need to do something about the sneezing. Because it's bad. And snot's getting everywhere, it's getting sticky, it's getting nasty, it's spreading. So we need to find a way to help these people control their sneeze. And so they got a hold of this guy, right? And he comes into town. And he says, hey, this was given to me to help us control our sneeze. Right? And whenever you feel like sneezing, you just hold it right there. And it'll keep you from sneezing. And then when you do sneeze, you just clean it up. You can't get rid of your sneeze, but you can clean up your mess. It'll never go away, but you can keep cleaning your sneeze, right? And so if you sneeze on somebody, you got to go up to them and use this napkin and get that sneeze off of them. You got to use it because the sneeze is bad, right? And so they started opening up these organizations, and they were called the anti-sneezers. And so they opened up these buildings, and people would come in, they would train them how to control their sneeze. You can't get rid of your sneeze, but you can control it. Because you're going to die with that sneeze. And when you die, then you'll be free from your sneeze. But until then, you just got to bear the fact that you just have to control it. And I know it itches. And I know you want to sneeze really bad. And there's no escaping this sneeze. But you just have to fight it because it's not going to go away. And so they would come in and they would cry at these altars. And, oh, I can't stand my sneeze. Oh, help me with my sneeze. I know it'll never leave, but help me with my sneeze. Oh, just blow my nose for me and help me be a little non-sneezy for a week or two, and then I'll come back in a week or so and we'll do it all again. And then we'll have some more of these and just apply them and, apply this in your life, whenever if you ever need to sneeze, here you go, man, just apply it. And if you meet somebody who sneezes, you just give it to them, right? And if somebody else sneezes, you can use it, because this works. This really works, right? And so they started making these songs. Oh, what a worthless sneezer I am. Oh, that day will come and we'll be free from that sneeze. Oh, the man came and gave us these tissues to help us with our sneeze. Oh, thank you for bringing this box of tissues to help us control our sneeze. And then they found out that they couldn't control their sneeze. It seemed to be getting worse. But that's okay, because we got more of these. And as long as we got more of these, we'll be fine, because this is what's going to help you right here. Right? And so then they said, hey, look, don't watch any movies with sneezers in it. Don't eat any food that makes you sneeze. Don't listen to any music from sneezers. Don't hang out with sneezers. In fact, you can't have anything to do with sneezers. You're a sneezer yourself, but you can't have anything to do with no one who sneezes. Now, I know you're fighting the fact that you sneeze, but really you're a different sneezer. That's those sneezers, and we're these sneezers. We're a little bit, our sneeze isn't as bad as their sneeze, but we do sneeze, but praise God, I don't sneeze like he sneezes. That's crazy. But Sundays is the only day they can do it because they're so busy. Well, maybe if we do things on Wednesday nights, we can come in and remind them not to sneeze, right? And then we can talk about how bad their sneeze is, and how bad they should feel about how they sneeze. And eventually, if they feel bad enough, they'll control their sneeze even better than they would normally control their sneeze. And so they found out that this sneezing started dividing them. Because some people would sneeze more than others. And they don't want to hang out with certain people that sneeze more than they sneeze. So it's like, we sneeze a little bit, but we don't want to sneeze as much as you sneeze, so we have to stay away from you guys, because you guys have caused us to sneeze more. It gets a little loud, a little frustrating, and besides, we're trying to separate ourselves from everyone who sneezes. I know we're supposed to reach all the sneezers, but we're supposed to separate ourselves from you too, so, yeah. And then this guy shows up. His name's Saul. And he shows up. And he says, oh, I can help you guys with your issues. I said, how's that? You know these tissues you got? Yeah. These tissues represented something. Right? They represented something. Someone that would wipe away your sneeze. For good. They're like, how is that even possible? Wipe away my sneeze. I'm going to sneeze to the day I die. And the guy says, yeah, but I figured something out. I figured that the reason that you can't stop sneezing is because you're pepper. And by nature, pepper makes you sneeze. And so as long as you're pepper, you're going to be fighting the urge to sneeze. So I've decided that I'll go ahead and take on your pepper and empty all of your pepper by taking all of your pepper into me. And when I take your pepper, I'll die and bury it in the ground. Right? And when I get up, I won't come up as pepper, I'll come up as salt. And then, if you believe in me, you can also be washed and cleaned out of your little pepper, whatever it is. You're a pepper shaker. We'll put you underwater in the water to clean out your pepper shaker. When you come up, I'll fill you with salt. And now you're not pepper anymore. Now you're salt. And now when you sneeze, it's not because you're pepper, it's just because you have a pepper habit. You have a sneezing habit. So you don't have a sin issue, you have a sin habit. Right? And so these people are like, you're crazy. I came up out of the water and I still feel the same. I still look the same. I still talk the same. He says, yeah, but I don't see you according to your pepper anymore. I see you according to your salt. And before, God would see you according to your pepper, according to your sneeze. See, people see the sneeze, but they never really looked at the pepper. Because they always fought the condition. They never addressed it. Right? And so that was the problem, is that they always fought the symptom. They never addressed the root. Right? Like when you go to the doctor and you have diabetes, they'll give you something to treat your diabetes, but they won't treat your diabetes. Does that make sense? Yeah. We'll give you a pill. We won't address the issue, we'll just give you a pill to kind of cover it up. Right? Same with obesity. Here's some pills to help you lose weight. We won't tell you to get on the treadmill, but just take these pills and eat whatever you want. You never address the issue, and the issue is changing your habits, right? And so, you guys know Saul's Jesus, right? So Jesus says, look, here's what's going to happen. You guys are going to die, right? You're going to, Romans chapter 6, verse 4, I believe it says that those who are baptized into Jesus are baptized into his death, right? So when you get baptized, you actually die. Colossians 3:3, you're dead and your life is hidden with Christ in God, I believe that's how it goes. And so you actually die. And when you come up by his Spirit, which means that's the quickening Spirit that raises you as a new creation, which means that God's not looking at pepper anymore, because pepper died. Consider yourself dead to sin, but alive to Christ. And so what he said is, when you come up out of that water, you're still going to look like you have a pepper packet. And everybody's going to think you're peppered. But what's amazing is, we don't see people according to the packet anymore. We see them according to the content, which means we don't see them according to the flesh, we see them according to the Spirit. Now here's what's amazing. Everybody in the land of sneeze is going to see you according to the pepper packet, because they got pepper eyes, they got flesh eyes, so all they can see is your actions, they can't see who you really are. Who you really are is the Spirit. And the reason that they're seeing these actions is because you're learning to walk out your life in the Spirit, and so all they're going to see is your fault and your faults. And so they're not going to believe it either. Does that make sense? You guys get this? So it's a nature change. Were you guys translated from the kingdom of darkness into the kingdom of his dear son? These seas are a kingdom. Like this is darkness. Hey, do you guys know what darkness represents?
Blindness.
Blindness. That's right. Darkness represents blindness. Because the Bible says that light was in the darkness, and darkness comprehended it not. Okay, so if it's dark and there's light in here, would there still be darkness in this room? But it says darkness comprehended it not, which means that darkness did not know what it was. And we know that darkness is not like evil spirits and demonics and devils, because if that was the case, we'd have to say that they didn't know who Jesus was, which we know is not true. So we know that darkness represents blindness, which represents not being able to see who Jesus is. So you were translated from the kingdom of darkness, which means you didn't know who Jesus was, into the kingdom of his dear son, which means now you know who he is. Because as he is, so are you in this world. Does that make sense? So you were translated from this realm, which is the spirit of this world. So you're translated from this world into his world. Is that correct? So this is the spirit of this world. Greater is he who's in me than who's in the what? World. So you got translated from this kingdom into this kingdom. So this is the kingdom of this world into the kingdom of his dear son, which is the kingdom of God. You guys got that? So you were translated from here to here. Was that mentally or spiritually? Spiritually. That's why you need to renew your mind, because your mind doesn't believe what happened to you. Okay? Your mind does not believe what happened to you. It's not. You know why? Because the mind is at enmity against God. The carnal mind is at enmity against God. It's not subject to the laws of God, neither can it be. To be carnally minded is death. So that part of you that says this is not happening to me or this is not real is that part of you that's at enmity against God that's telling you this isn't happening. You guys get that? It's not you. It's the who. It's the carnal mind. It's the flesh mind. It's the mind that needs to be renewed, which means you need to bring that thing captive. Cast down every imagination, every high thing that gets... Cast down every imagination, every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, bringing every thought captive to the obedience of Christ. So if you were translated from here to here in your new creation, why do you have to take thoughts captive? Because they're not yours. Right? Why do you have to renew your mind if you're a new creation? Because Jesus doesn't renew your mind, he renews your heart. And he doesn't live in your head, he lives in your heart. So why do you need to renew your mind? Because your mind doesn't believe that Jesus lives in your heart.